What's up, it's Wills, back with more Miata mods, and today in the Miata build, we're going to be refreshing my entire clutch hydraulic system with brand new parts. So today, we're going to be replacing the clutch master and clutch slave cylinder with brand new units from Excedy. We also have this full-length stainless steel braided clutch line. This will replace the entire clutch line, and it'll make it so that clutch master is directly connected to the clutch slave. This will eliminate all the other connections that come on a stock Miata. So I bought all these parts as a kit. I'll provide the link in the description below. Alright, so let's go out to the car, see what failed on my clutch system, and get the whole parts off. So one day I went out to the car and I found that the clutch fluid was low. I opened up the cap and saw that it was almost empty and that the hydraulic fluid was contaminated and old. I followed the clutch lines to see if there were any leaks. No leaks at this connection. I got the wheels off to check the slave and I found the leak right here at the clutch slave. To remove the clutch master, there's a 10mm flare nut for the clutch line and two 12mm bolts holding it onto the firewall. First, we'll get some towels to catch any hydraulic fluid since it's caustic and will damage your paint. Next, we'll remove any old fluid from the clutch master. I used a turkey baster and put the old fluid into a water bottle. Then we'll spray the flare nut with some PB blaster, and next we'll remove the clutch line using a 10mm flare nut wrench. Mine came off pretty easy, but you may need to give it a few taps with the hammer to get it loose. Once we have the line off, then we can remove the two 12mm nuts holding it onto the firewall. And for this, I used a 12mm deep socket with an extension. Once those are removed, we can take off the clutch master. If you're only installing the clutch master today, go ahead and skip ahead in the video to the clutch master reinstallation. To remove the upper clutch hard line, we're going to start by taking off the brake booster tube. Then disconnect the line at the intake side. And lastly, there's some plastic brackets holding on the brake and clutch lines. Pop those open and the line is free. Next up, we'll disconnect the lower pigtail from the clutch slave. Typically, there's a 10mm bolt holding it to the engine, but mine is missing. Make sure you have some towels to catch any dripping fluid. I'm going to pull off the retaining clip for the soft line. Then there's a retaining clip way down behind the intake holding on the next connection. Alright, so I was able to get the clip off. I just had to use a really long screwdriver and slowly wiggle it out of place. Unfortunately, the line is still going through the bracket and there's no way to get any wrenches into the tight space. So I ended up using a metal handsaw to cut the line off. And then I pulled the pigtail out from underneath the car. And now we can finally remove the soft line. Lastly, I removed this bracket for the stock line since we won't be using it anymore. Next, we'll remove the two 12mm bolts holding the clutch slave to the transmission. The bottom, I just used a wrench. And for the top, a 12mm socket, a few extensions, and my impact. Here's all the parts off the stock hydraulic system. There's two hard lines, a soft line, and 4 connections in the stock system. You might wonder, why did Mazda build the system this way? It seems more complicated than it needs to be, but I think they did it for a reason. One reason was to reduce the stress on the hard lines from engine vibrations. The soft line is flexible and elastic, and the pigtail also has some flex to it to damper vibrations. And check out the condition of these old parts though. I think the clutch master was leaking since there's a lot of rust on the back, which is evidence of leaking brake fluid. The clutch slave is also super rusty, and it was definitely leaking from the seals when we first inspected. Well, let's go ahead and get these new parts on. Now we'll install the clutch slave. We'll take the push rod and dab both ends of some grease and also apply some grease along the shaft. This will lubricate the contact points and help seal the rod to the rubber boot. We'll also apply some grease to the clutch fork. Next, we'll get the new clutch slave onto the transmission. I started by installing the bottom bolt first and getting it finger tight. Then I got the top bolt in and got that bolt started. The bottom bolt, I went ahead and tightened it as much as I could by hand. There's no way to really get a torque wrench in there, so just good and tight. And the top bolt, I just used my impact. For the clutch line, I decided to add some protection from heat and abrasion by wrapping it in some fuel line hose. Then we'll start by feeding the line across the firewall and onto the stock clips. I then ran the line down the firewall, and then I tightened the line down onto the clutch sleeve until it bottomed out. Then I got it hand tight, then I gave it another quarter turn, and it should be tight enough. Alright, next we're going to go ahead and bench bleed the master cylinder. First we'll get on the adapter fitting for the new line, and then we'll tighten it down by hand until it bottoms out. Next we'll grab some DOT3 or DOT4 brake fluid and fill up the reservoir. We'll be pressing the back of the clutch master with a screwdriver to actuate the cylinder. Grab a towel to cover the fitting and give it a few pumps. Once some fluid comes out, grab a hose and continue the bleed. I would give it presses with long holds to help the air bleed out. After a few pumps, I would let it slowly burp. I repeated this a few times, then let it sit so bubbles could slowly bleed out. Next, we'll get some grease on the back of the master cylinder and the clutch rod. This will help lubricate the contact points. Then install the master onto the firewall studs, and we'll tighten them to spec. Then we'll remove the bleed hose and install the stainless steel line hand tight until it bottoms out. Now we can bleed the system since everything is installed. First, we'll need a container to bleed out all the bubbles and store excess fluid. I used an old glass jar and drilled a hole in the lid and then ran a bleed hose into the jar. I like to coil the hose so it stays in the bottom of the jar. Then we'll fill up the jar about a quarter full and fill up the clutch master reservoir. Get a wrench onto the clutch slave bleed screw and connect the hose from the jar. Crack open the bleed screw and then give the clutch pedal a few pumps. You'll start seeing bubbles come up in the brake master. Keep pumping until fluid comes out of the bleed hose. Then we'll tighten up the bleed screw and fill up the reservoir again. Then I grabbed a friend and I had them pump the pedal. I would call up and he would put the pedal in the up position. Then I would call down and he would put the pedal in the down position. After a few pumps, he would hold down and I would crack open the bleed screw. Then I tightened the bleed screw up and called out up so he could return the pedal to the up position. After a few times, we would refill the reservoir. We repeated this until the fluid was free of bubbles. Then we'll get the wheel back on and lower the car back down, and we're done. Hope you enjoyed the video and found it helpful. If you did, give this video a like and subscribe if you want to keep following the build. Catch you in the next one. Peace.